More Americans are turning to buy now, pay later loans to cover the cost of groceries, and more of them are now falling behind on their payments. That is according to the data released by LendingTree. The report, of course, did not get the attention that it truly deserves in the mainstream media, likely because the US economy is doing so great that there is no need to sound alarm when more and more people have to purchase food on credit.
Blue-collar wage growth, the only other time it's been this high, wait for it, was during President Trump's first term. So we've seen real wages for hourly workers, non-supervisory workers, rise almost 2% in the first 5 months.
The U.S. economy is in a pretty good position.
And all of the naysayers, all of the so-called economic experts who doubted this president and his economic formula are now eating their words. In fact, there was a story on the cover of the Wall Street Journal today saying that those fears of recession that everyone was ranting and raving about have now cooled because the economy and everyone from Wall Street to Main Street understands this is a president who is a businessman and he knows what he's doing.
So without a doubt, the data is one of the latest signs of economic strain as consumers deal with persistent inflation, high interest rates, and growing uncertainty over tariffs. LendingTree conducted a survey polling 2,000 U.S. consumers across all age groups and income levels between the ages of 18 and 79. The findings paint a troubling picture, and so I want to share the details with you today in this video. Around 50% of respondents reported having used buy now, pay later services. Of those 50%, 25% said that they used buy now, pay later loans to buy groceries. That number is up significantly from just 14% a year prior in 2024. So the jump in financing essential items like groceries shows just how far the practice has moved beyond its original intent. Not too long ago, this type of loans was used mainly for discretionary purchases like electronics or clothing, but now, in the modern day and age, buy now, pay later loans are quickly becoming a lifeline for daily necessities such as food. But the trouble doesn't stop at usage. 41% of respondents who used buy now, pay later services said that they made at least one late payment in the past year, and that is up from 34% the year before. According to LendingTree's chief consumer finance analyst, most of those who paid late said that they were behind by no more than just a week. However, even short delays can lead to fees or credit damage depending on the buy now, pay later services provider. Many Americans are under financial pressure and are increasingly relying on short-term loans to manage their day-to-day expenses. For a lot of people, that means leaning on buy now, pay later loans. And while it may help them get to the next paycheck, it is not always a long-term solution. It just can't be by its nature. How do buy now, pay later services actually work? Let's take a quick look. So buy now, pay later loans work by allowing consumers to split payments over time, often with no interest at all, as long as payments are made on schedule. But the growing reliance on these loans among all age groups in the United States, especially for essentials, raises major concerns. High late fees, difficulty tracking multiple loans, and potential credit implications all contribute to growing financial risk. Here's even worse news for you today. Even though buy now, pay later services can be a helpful, interest-free way to bridge paychecks, mismanaging it can create more problems than it solves. Meanwhile, DoorDash recently announced that it would begin accepting buy now, pay later payments via Klarna, effectively allowing people to finance food deliveries in the United States. As expected, the news prompted both criticism and concern, with some suggesting that financing fast food like cheeseburgers and burritos may be the clearest sign yet of an economy under pressure. Consumers had previously been somewhat resilient in the face of high inflation and interest rates, despite a slowdown in demand and hiring. But in early 2025, that resilience appears to be fading. Large companies, including Walmart and Delta Airlines, have issued warnings that demand is weakening and sales forecasts are being downgraded. In that context, the surge in buy now, pay later services used for basic needs becomes even more troubling. LendingTree's survey highlights that among Gen Z consumers, those aged 18 to 28, 1/3 admitted to using buy now, pay later loans for groceries. For this age group, groceries were the fourth most common use, following clothing, technology, and home decor. Another revealing data point, about 2/3 of buy now, pay later users have considered using the loans for food delivery too. The partnership between DoorDash and Klarna isn't just a one-off. This is a response to real demand from consumers who are struggling to pay for meals. Unfortunately, there is no reason to think that this situation is going to change anytime soon. In fact, with how things are going, with the revived trade tariff war that I discussed in a recent video here on my channel in great detail, it may actually get worse before it gets any better. Economists and financial experts have been sounding the alarm for months now. Many believe that shifting consumer behaviors, like the surge in buy now, pay later services usage for groceries and food deliveries, may be one of the earliest warning signs of a potential major economic downturn on the horizon. With protectionist trade policies on the rise, there is a growing fear that tariffs will further fuel inflation. And they will, of course. This is simple economics. Companies are likely to pass on those higher import costs to consumers, which means food, household goods, and even essential medications could become more expensive in the coming months. As more Americans turn to short-term loans to stay afloat, the question isn't just whether buy now, pay later service is helping or hurting. The real concern here is what it says about the economy itself. When people are financing groceries and meals just to get by, because this is exactly what we're seeing, it is a signal that cannot be ignored. I would love to hear from you. Are you seeing this trend where you live? What are your thoughts on the state of the U.S. economy today? Leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please support my work, like, subscribe, and share. It goes a long way. I put in a lot of work into my content on a daily basis. Consider becoming a subscriber on Substack and Patreon. You will find those linked in the description below, and I look forward to seeing you in the comments and also in my new video tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.